Have you ever wondered why, sometimes, it's not the weight of adversity that brings you down, but the way you handle it? What if I told you that, instead of being swept away by the storm, you can learn to stand firm, even when everything around you seems to be falling apart? In today's video, you'll discover the secret to facing the toughest moments with the strength that already resides within you. We'll explore how Stoicism can help you find resilience even in the most challenging situations. Are you ready to turn pain into power? Have you ever stopped to think that maybe what really brings you down isn't the weight of your problems, but the way you carry them? In the middle of life's storm, have you ever felt like you're sinking, unsure of where to go? Well, the good news is you're not alone, and more importantly, there's a way to transform that pain and despair into pure strength. Stoicism, a philosophy that has guided the wisest for centuries, holds the answer. But what if I told you that true strength doesn't come from the outside, but from something much deeper within you? In this video, we're going to explore how, by adopting the Stoic mindset, you can learn to stay strong even when everything around you is falling apart. And the best part, you'll understand how to apply these teachings to your life so that in the future, even on your toughest days, you'll feel stronger than ever. Sometimes life surprises us with losses we can't avoid. Like that moment when, no matter how hard we try, a project, a relationship, or even a dream slips through our fingers, and there's nothing we can do about it. Fighting against this is like trying to hold water in your hands. It simply doesn't work. Acceptance doesn't mean we have to like what happened, but rather understand that what's done is done. Deep down, realizing that some things are simply out of our control is a relief. It frees us from the burden of trying to change what's already been done. This idea of acceptance is central to Stoicism. Epictetus, one of the great masters of this philosophy, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it." This teaches us that pain, loss, or failure only have power over us if we let them. True strength lies in choosing how we will respond even when everything seems to fall apart. A great exercise to start practicing this is to write down, on a piece of paper, everything you can control in your life right now, and everything you can't. Focusing on what we can change helps reduce anxiety because we're making space for actionable steps. To move forward, we need to learn to differentiate between what's ours and what's not. Imagine you've lost something important. That doesn't mean you have to carry the guilt or anger for the rest of your life. Sometimes the greatest victory is letting go. This creates new space inside you where you can build something stronger and more resilient. And this is exactly where Stoicism comes in, accepting what you can't control and using it as a foundation to build something firmer and more solid within yourself. Being strong doesn't mean never feeling pain. On the contrary, true strength is revealed when we allow ourselves to feel, but not be swept away by emotions. Imagine the bamboo that, in the face of a storm, bends but doesn't break. It doesn't try to become something it's not, but accepts its flexibility to stay upright. Similarly, our strength lies in how we react to challenges, not in trying to be unyielding. Resistance isn't about ignoring emotions or hardening ourselves, but about not letting them overwhelm us and define us. This idea of emotional resistance is quite different from physical resistance. When we think of mental resistance, it's like bodybuilding for the soul. When you start training, your body's muscles might feel pain, but that pain is necessary for growth. The mind works the same way. Vulnerability, often seen as weakness, is actually the foundation of our greatest strength. Allowing yourself to be vulnerable might just be the first step to learning to resist the emotional winds blowing around us. Personally, I can recall a time when I thought I was weak for feeling the pain of a loss. However, it was precisely that pain that taught me to reinvent myself. Like a tree shedding its leaves in the fall, we also have our moments of emotional death. But true strength comes when we accept these phases as part of life's natural cycle, learning to resist with flexibility, so that one day we can bloom again. Sometimes, when everything seems to be falling apart around us, the solution isn't in big achievements, but in the small wins of daily life. Getting out of bed, having a good breakfast, taking a walk, or even just taking a deep breath. These small actions have the power to keep the mind focused and the body moving, preventing chaos from taking over. It's like a damaged ship that, although slow, still sails towards the harbor. Every small step, even if imperceptible, is a victory that brings some balance back. These victories are often overlooked, but deep down, they're what sustain us during the toughest times. And make no mistake, there's no such thing as a small victory when you're in the midst of a crisis. Every action that brings you back to normalcy is an act of resistance. This is something Stoic philosophy teaches us, the importance of finding meaning in the small, daily actions. Seneca, in his writings, said, "A man who doesn't have time for small things doesn't have time for life." And that's exactly it. When the big battles are impossible, we must focus on the small victories that together can rebuild our strength. To illustrate, I remember a phase in my life where the day-to-day seemed overwhelming. I felt lost, directionless, but I realized that if I began to focus on the small wins, like organizing my desk or doing something simple that brought me joy, my mental state would begin to shift. By focusing on these small accomplishments, I saw that balance slowly returned and the feeling of losing control diminished. These small victories, seemingly insignificant, have the power to transform the day. Stoicism teaches us that mental preparation doesn't begin at the moment of crisis, but long before. It's like preparing for a big game, not waiting for the pressure of the competition to start training. Our minds need to be trained daily, in calm moments, so we're strong when tough times come. This includes daily practices like morning reflection, journaling, or even negative visualization. The latter technique, as strange as it sounds, involves imagining the worst-case scenario so that when something bad does happen, we're emotionally prepared. These practices aren't about paralyzing ourselves with fear, but strengthening ourselves. Think of an athlete who, by training constantly, doesn't just improve their skills, but also learns how to handle pressure. Similarly, training the mind in calm times makes us more capable of handling life's challenges. And this prepares us for adversity in a way that few can manage. The Stoic knows that the mind is the most important muscle to work, and true mental strength comes from daily discipline. I can recall a time when I began applying these practices, especially negative visualization. It wasn't about getting lost in pessimism, but preparing for what could happen. Over time, I realized that when difficulties arose, I was already in a more balanced mental state, less prone to despair. That constant preparation gave me confidence to face the unexpected with more clarity. Training the mind, just like the body, is a key to resilience. Pain itself doesn't disappear. But when we give it a higher purpose, something incredible happens. It transforms. Imagine going through a devastating loss, and the pain feels unbearable. However, by seeking meaning in the experience, you begin to understand that it's part of a deep learning process. This doesn't erase the suffering, but gives you a reason to keep going. As Seneca said, difficulty shows who we are. It's in adversity that we truly reveal our inner strength, and it's the search for meaning that gives us the courage to move forward. This idea is one of the pillars of Stoicism, finding a purpose in adversity. When you begin to see pain as an opportunity for growth, not an insurmountable obstacle, you change your relationship with it. Suffering, instead of paralyzing you, becomes a driving force. This is something Stoic philosophy teaches us, and often human experience reflects this process of transformation. What seemed unbearable at first, over time, can become the source of your greatest strength. Personally, I went through a situation where a great loss seemed to have broken my spirit. But by seeking meaning in that pain, I found a new direction for my life. It led me to paths I otherwise would have never considered. Today, I see that moment as one of the most transformative of my journey. The pain became a bridge to something greater, and the strength that emerged from it is something I never imagined possible. Now that you know the Stoic tools for staying strong when everything around you falls apart, the question is, will you use them when the storm knocks on your door? Remember, we're not talking about making difficult days easy, but creating the resilience needed to face them with courage and clarity, accepting what we can't control, being flexible like the bamboo in the wind, focusing on small victories, and training the mind before the crisis are the keys to maintaining inner peace when everything seems out of control. And most importantly, giving meaning to pain allows us to transform it into strength. So what are you waiting for? It's time to start applying these lessons in your daily life. How can you begin using these Stoic tools today? Change starts now. And if you enjoyed this content and want to learn even more about how to face moments of crisis with wisdom, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. In the next video, we'll dive deeper into how to maintain serenity in the midst of chaos. Don't miss it. If you connected with this video and want to learn even more about how to face life's challenges with wisdom and serenity, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. That way, you won't miss the upcoming videos, including the next one, The Art of Staying Calm in the Midst of Chaos. If you think someone could benefit from this content, share this video and let's spread this knowledge together. See you in the next one.